Hello everyone, my name is Ziyada Kudabayeva, and in this video I'm going to present my research that I have conducted throughout the course Introduction to Research in Applied Linguistics. So firstly, let me start from the title. The title of the research is Junior TEFL Students' Perceptions on Learning English Vocabulary Through Computer Games. Now let me show the content of the video. So I'm going to start from talking about the purpose of the study and finish with the conclusion, which includes the limitations of my study and the recommendations for future researchers. So the purpose of the study is to analyze the perceptions of junior TEFL students on using computer games as a vocabulary acquisition tool. And the research seeks answers for the following questions. What are the attitudes of junior TEFL students towards using computer games as a learning vocabulary tool? And to what extent do computer games make vocabulary learning more enjoyable? Talking about the significance of the research, identifying and observing junior students' attitude towards accepting computer games as a useful tool in learning English vocabulary can be helpful to see whether it's possible to connect widespread computer games all over the world and educational context. Now let's go to the literature review. So I have revised 8 studies to see what is already known in the field. And I have analyzed and revised all the works by dividing them into 4 themes. So the first one, attitudes of young learners towards computer games as a learning tool, then adolescents, the perceptions of college students, and then adults. So what I have found, main concepts of the literature review are: computer games are becoming popular among teachers and students as they provide a fun environment and the motivation to study. Then this tool is suitable for various students of different ages and proficiency levels. Lastly, computer games are accepted as a beneficial tool as they are applicable for both classroom learning and independent learning. However, there were some limitations of the revised studies. So the first one is the subjects of many studies are adults and young learners. There was only few studies that were conducted among teenagers and university students especially. The second limitation is that the large part of studies, except the one here that was undertaken in Greece, were held in Asian countries, which are Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Malaysia. So there was few or even not any studies that were conducted in European countries and Central Asian countries. So my research was conducted to fill the missing gaps of the previous work. Let's talk about the methodology of the research, starting from the participants. So the research was carried out with 8 junior students of Süleyman Demirel University. All participants were taken from the Education and Humanity faculty, specialty of 2 foreign languages. So the invitation and the consent letter was sent via WhatsApp, and the students took part in the research voluntarily. Talking about the instrumentation, so there were 2 instruments that were used in the research. The first one is non-educational game My Story Mansion Makeover. So this game was chosen as it provides people with rich language input and engaging and colorful game design, which is also important. So the game My Story Mansion Makeover presents great opportunities for players to read the dialogues of characters in English. And the second instrument, once the participants finished playing the game, they were asked to take part in the interview. So the researcher held a structured interview. The interview consisted of 11 questions, 5 introductory questions and 6 main questions. Set of questions were constructed and written by the researcher and then revised by 3 external reviewers and the scientific supervisor. The investigator used 2 types of ways to conduct the interview. The first one, mail interviewing, and the audio messaging via WhatsApp. So participants were able to choose whether they want to answer via WhatsApp or via mail interviewing. Talking about the data analysis, qualitative method was used to analyze the data. The answers of the respondents that were received through audio messages and written emails were transcribed first, then the data was coded and categorized into themes. As the research focused on finding out people's opinions and experiences about the research topic, thematic analysis was used in data analysis. Accordingly, all 6 phases of thematic analysis, such as generating initial codes, looking for themes, and naming themes, were implemented. So what I have found, major findings of the research are: the positive attitudes of participants demonstrated the effectiveness of using computer games as a vocabulary acquisition tool. The possibility of motivating and engaging students in the learning process easily are highlighted as the main benefits of this tool. However, there were some difficulties. For example, managing time while playing the game and feasibility of becoming addicted to games are accepted as a major drawbacks of the tool. According to the outcomes of the study, the application of computer games as a vocabulary acquisition tool is a disputable aspect, which means teachers are recommended to take into account interest and ability to use computer games of learners before applying this tool in classrooms. And moreover, respondents indicated that usage of computer games in learning new words is beneficial for adolescents and young people ranging from 10 to 19 years old. Talking about the limitations, my study was limited with the number of participants in the research, which means I cannot generalize my answers to a wide range of people. And also, since individuals' gestures and body movements might also be helpful to analyze and collect the data, absence of face-to-face interviews is seen as also the second limitation of the research. So future recommendations: the field of education would benefit from studies that are conducted among large sample sizes and that include face-to-face interviews. So it's recommended to future researchers to take into account such details to conduct meaningful and effective research. That's it. Thank you for your attention.